Mr. Ed Cherry.
Hello.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. First of all, you've been a long-time guitar hero of mine and a friend, so I appreciate it.
Thanks for asking me.
No, it's an honor, man. Seriously. So, a couple of questions. First, what inspired you first to play the guitar?
Well, let's see. Guitar actually wasn't my first instrument. I was a clarinetist.
Oh, really?
In a school band from about 3rd grade till about 7th grade.
Yeah.
But I started to see, during that time, there were a lot of rock bands on television. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Jimi Hendrix once in a while, and then B.B. King. They would all be playing the guitar, and the girls would be going crazy. And I said, I want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a similar story.
The guitar, was sexy to me, back then. So I said, let me try that. So I put the clarinet away. I actually thought I wanted to be a saxophonist.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. But I put that away, and I asked my parents for a guitar for Christmas. I think I was 6th or 7th grade, and I got it. Santa Claus brought it, and I just couldn't put it down. So, what inspired me to become a guitarist was, it was a popular instrument of the day. 60s, late 60s, late 60s, and everybody was playing the guitar. Folk music was big. My dad tried to play guitar. Folk music, Bob Dylan kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he also liked jazz guitar. So there were a lot of jazz guitar records being played in the house. So I knew who Grant Green and Wes Montgomery and Kenny Burrell was even before I started playing the guitar.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So, there was that connection as well.
Yeah.
So it was... music, the household music was jazz, primarily jazz guitar and Charlie Parker. And but I was listening to Jimi Hendrix and and James Brown.
That's
and
so
all
cool.
that kind of stuff.
Were your parents musical at all?
My mom played very little piano. My dad tried to play the guitar, and he still has his original Mel Bay Book 1 at his house,
Cool. Yeah.
And he's still trying to get through the first 10 pages, still.
Oh, man. At first you don't succeed. Yeah.
So that's it. That's how I started to play.
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of have a similar story. I actually I started on clarinet. Well, I started on piano when I was maybe 5, and I was pretty decent at piano. Then I played clarinet. I remember in middle school, but I was terrible. I was I liked it. I was so bad.
I liked it.
And I don't know why. I just
my mom tried to make me take piano lessons, and I hated piano for some reason. I just couldn't connect with the piano. She made me take these, and maybe because she made me do.
That's probably it.
It turned me off a little bit towards the piano.
That's one thing that I really feel, a big. I really feel lucky that my dad didn't really, because he's a guitar player too. Actually, he's more of kind of a folky, but songwriter. But he never really forced the guitar on me. He always really supported me if I wanted to play, but I kind of picked it up on my own. And I think if it had been forced upon me, but I remember when I was 12 years old, and all the cool kids were bringing guitars to school, and they definitely, the girls liked them way more than me. So,
we were left out.
So, man, that's cool. Yeah. So, also, is there, I wanted to ask, is there anything kind of that you're currently working on, now?
Well, I was discussing this with my wife, who plays violin, and
Cool.
we were talking about trying to do a string trio
Wow.
with guitar, bass, drums.
Yeah.
And just playing the tunes that is currently in my repertoire, but coming up with a string trio version.
Yeah.
Viola, violin, and cello.
Yeah.
And so we're going to start working on that kind of stuff soon. I haven't really been writing too much. I'm very slow with writing music.
Yeah.
But I like to, maybe rearrange tunes,
Yeah.
like classic jazz tunes, or maybe tunes that aren't so popular, jazz tunes, standards, I'd like to maybe play a fast tune, slow tune, fast, play something bossa nova that's really a swing, and just kind of turn it around that way. I like doing that.
Yeah, no, I mean I love the combination.
But with the strings, I think it's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah,
I've never really done that before, until now. Lately, I've been thinking
it's interesting
about
because it's such a classic sound, but no one really does it now.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously all those Bird with Strings, recordings are amazing. And,
so I was thinking of trying to get that together, fairly soon, and maybe the next little local gig I have, Smalls or something like that, have string.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
because you don't see that much.
Absolutely,
and it's a nice
man.
sound,
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, all the timbres work really nice. Yeah.
So.
Also, I know you were on the road with Dizzy Gillespie for many, many years. What was? I mean, I know it's probably. You can't really answer this in 5 minutes, but what was that like?
Oh, it was a great experience. Dizzy was a normal guy. He had a sense of humor. Wasn't like a joke telling sense of humor, but he had a humorous outlook on life. Make comments about whatever situation. He was a lot of fun to be around. He was very personable, nice to everyone. He was a good role model,
Great,
Not only just he was one of the founding fathers of bebop and all of that. That's everybody knows that story. But for a young guy on the road, he was a good role model, as I said. He was very nice, and he didn't really speak ill of anyone.
Yeah.
And he was kind to a world statesman as well as the cleaning lady. Oh,
that's cool. Yeah.
So that was a good thing to see. When I joined the band, I think I was like 23.
Oh wow.
So I'd never been out of New Haven, really. I mean, I've been to New York, but I'd never traveled. I'd never really been on an airplane, until I got with Dizzy,
Yeah.
And it was a great experience in that way.
Oh, cool. That's so cool.
So he was a positive role model.
Yeah, and one last question. What was growing up in New Haven like? For those of you who don't know, recently discovered that actually my uncle went to school with Ed way back in the day in New Haven.
I think junior high school or high school.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah. Tell him I said, hey.
Will do, yeah.
New Haven. Yeah, so when I started playing the guitar, I immediately found guys in my neighborhood to play. So there were many musicians to play with.
Cool.
And then when I started getting into jazz, I found the local older guys to go jam with,
Yeah.
And New Haven had a lot of spots where the older cats would play and they would let the younger guys sit in. And I became friends with many of them, and I ended up doing gigs with them. I mean, I couldn't really play, but they heard something, and they let me play. They let me sit in and do gigs, and it was fun. It was a good experience. There was two brothers from Chicago, Bobby and Eddie Buster, and they played organ, Hammond B3 organ. And they moved to New Haven from Chicago. They brought their families from that environment to the slower pace New Haven, and they had played with Sonny Stitt and Gene Ammons and people like that. But they left all of that to come to New Haven. But they started a scene,
Cool.
And then there were younger guys who were going to Yale who also started like another scene, with the new music, kind of avant scene, and and Mark Elias and Fiona Clough and bass player Wes Brown and many of the younger people who became kind of famous in their older age.
Cool.
So there was a lot of music in New Haven to be a part of it.
Cool. And last question, Sally's or Pepe's?
The Spot. Either one. They're both good, They're both good. They're both good. I think the last time I had pizza, I went to Pepe's.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
I was coming home. I was living in Harlem at the time, and I was coming home on the subway from a train. I got off at like 116th and Lenox Avenue to walk to my apartment. And it's about 3 a.m, and I walk, and I see a Pepe's box laying on the street on Lenox Avenue and like 118th Street. I said, "What is that box doing?" New Haven pizza. New Haven pizza on the street in Lenox Avenue.
Oh man,
but anyway,
that's funny.
Yeah,
that's great. Cool. Well, Ed, thank you so much for doing this. It's an absolute honor having you, man.
Thank you.